Welcome back. I'm David Mulligan, and this is the Writers Bloc with Virtual Channel Network. We have been working on Twilight, written by Melissa Rosenberg. Let's jump right in and see what we can get from her. 46. Okay. Scene 64. Now, remember, we had talked about the changes in the beginning, which is major script changes. And we had looked at interior, exterior, and there were a number of places here in the notes where they had changed this designation. And if you look on the second page of this, you'll see scene 64, and they have listed changed scene heading to EXT /ENT was EXT. Now, when I go to the actual scene on page 64, I'm sorry, page 46, scene 64, right? It has exterior, interior, Forks Police Station, and we have the scene, and then they cut to the interior of the scene. Now, the interesting part here is I don't see anywhere in here, and maybe I'm not looking at it correctly, I'm not seeing anywhere in this scene that has anything to do with the inside of the police station until Bella is told to go inside. So that's a curious thing. What does that mean? Now, I remember the scene. I don't remember the scene that well, but I do remember they were totally two different scenes. I'm not sure the necessity of the exterior or interior. I don't know. But it's something that you need to consider when you write. You need to make sure that you have that down pat. I'm bringing that up twice, but, well, it's twice as important, isn't it? Maybe not. What am I talking about? Let's move on. Oh, you know what? Okay. I have been waiting this whole session to talk about this, especially after I saw the movie. I had to talk about this. It's so interesting. Twilight is a woman's movie. It's a girl's movie. It's not a guy's movie. There's not nearly enough action in there for a guy to absorb. You know, it's not a bad movie. Don't get me wrong. I did enjoy the movie, and I definitely enjoyed the script. Absolutely. I don't think I'll read the book. But I'll probably see New Moon because it's out now and it's crazy and all my friends want to see it. So, but with this franchise, this phenomenon, what is this? It's vampires. It's vampires. Vampires has been around forever. We've had so many. Anybody old enough to remember the Lost Boys? Remember that Lost Boys? And remember that little rule in there where the kid says, I don't know which actor it was. He says, no two vampires ever died the same. Love that. It was really great stuff. Every vampire movie, every movie of this genre is going to have rules to it. Like the whole idea is a vampire can't go out in the sun. He'll die. We love that. And so many movies are like that. It's not even funny. So I'm sure this is from the book. I'm sure this is not from Melissa, but it bears needing comment. At the bottom of page 52, we see the last paragraph. As the sun hits him, Edward's skin literally sparkles as if embedded with thousands of tiny diamonds. He is magnificent, shimmering, like a statue carved from glittering crystal. He moves towards her. All right. So somebody sits you down. He's a big producer, and he says to you, I want you to write the next great vampire movie. I want you to take whatever rules that you know of vampires. I want you to change it around. I want you to come up with something that's not only going to be a great movie, but it's going to be a great franchise, like 3 or 4 movies. Can you do that? I want you to bring something brand new to vampires that the audience is going to love. Now, I don't know who came up with the ideas, but I should imagine it's the writer of the book who came up with this idea. I'm 99.9% sure of it. It'd be interesting if I was wrong. I didn't read the book, but I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. And here's the rule. The rule is, in this universe, in this story, vampires can't go into the sun because it reveals their true form, which is they're made of diamonds, or they appear to be made of diamonds, and I don't think the difference is negligible. Who cares what the difference is? To a woman, Edward, the love interest, to Bella, rather, Edward, the vampire, the killer, the monster, just so happens to also be made of diamonds, made of a woman's best friend. Does any guy buy this? Really? Seriously? Does this work in a bar? Do you ever, just, sit next to a girl, and say, hi, how you doing? Oh, by the way, I'm made of diamonds. No. No. I don't see it. I don't get it. But apparently women love this stuff. And apparently it's really good, because in the very next page after this, he says, this is what I am. And she says, you're beautiful. And he goes, beautiful? I'm a killer, Bella. This is the skin of a killer. Come on. Really? Seriously? Is she conflicted? Really? Is she really conflicted? I don't see the conflicted here. He's made of diamonds. If you could make a man of any substance that a woman wanted, wouldn't diamonds be at the top of the list? Right? Oh, and then he's super fast and super fast, super strong. He loves her to death, blah, blah, blah. Awesome. Just awesome. And talk about hook, huh? Talk about really just hooking him in. I'm just bringing him in. I haven't seen New Moon yet, but I heard that in the very beginning of the movie or something, he takes his shirt off, which he doesn't do in the first movie. And all the women gasp audibly. Or whatever. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm going to see it, so it'll be very interesting to see if that moment is the same as they told me. And, of course, what did the men do? We laughed. Come on. Are you serious, really? But this whole diamond thing is very interesting, and when you are writing a genre movie, a fantasy movie, whether it's vampires, zombies, knight in shining armor, dragons and sorcerers, blah, 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 all of these stories have to have certain rules. Now, who decides on those rules? Well, you know what? The audience, a lot of the time, decides on the rules. If you change the rules and the audience doesn't like that, your story is dead. It's happened. I can't think of a vampire movie where it didn't work out, but I'm sure there are scores of vampire movies that tried different things and didn't work. Or zombie movies, or, no, I do have an example. Dungeons and Dragons. They made a movie, Dungeons and Dragons. Now, I'm old enough to remember the board game Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't enjoy it. I very much like the computer games and stuff like that. But I know what Dungeons and Dragons is, and I know what Dungeons and Dragons has done. It created a whole new subculture, and movies, and it exploded. So, who decides the rules? The screenwriter, with caution. Now, if let's say, for instance, that this was a spec script, and Melissa Rosenberg was a spec writer, and came to me, and she was very bit novice, how would I advise her? Well, I would advise her wrong. I would have said, you can't have the vampires made of diamonds. Okay, you want to make them devastatingly beautiful, but making them made of diamonds, his whole body, isn't that kind of weird? Isn't that going a little too far? Apparently not. Apparently I'm missing something very important here. And when they start, getting a tattoo or some sort of jewelry or whatever is one thing, but if there's a doctor out there that can make my entire body of diamonds, I would like to know, and I will get that procedure. Whatever. Let's move on. I'm getting silly, aren't I? Sorry. Well, that's it for this week. Please join me next time. My name is David Mulligan, and this is the Writers Bloc with Virtual Channel Network. Because if you can get words on the page, you're not blocked.